main issues to consider, you'll hear from the other speakers about some of the tactics to enter the market. The ones I really wanted to pick on here in terms of what's slightly different in the UK is the supply chain logistics. There's a quirky little thing in the UK. A lot of people will think about agency agreements and instead of a distributor agreement. Just be aware that there's a legislation that if you terminate your agency agreement in the UK, you may be liable to pay them for the value of the business. So not what business you've put through them, but the value of the business if someone wanted to buy the agency. So don't panic. You can, with a good lawyer, make sure your termination clauses are very tight. But I just we have had a couple of Australian companies make the mistake of doing deals on a handshake. And in agencies, it's really, really dangerous to do that. So we can give you some good legal advice that can help you make sure you don't get caught in that trap. Obviously, in the supply chain, try and cut out as many layers as you can, because whether it's a service or a product, what you tend to find is you end up retailing at about 3 times the price in Australia, depending on the layers that you have in between. And the alternative market entry models, particularly in a service-hungry UK, but also for physical products. Most exporters will think, oh, it's easier and simpler for me just to stick the stuff on a boat or for me to fly over and service someone. I would actually really stress in the UK that you think about actually setting up a physical footprint. There are so many benefits to actually being there that it's really worth looking at. You've got all the old traditional ones around, avoiding market entry barriers and tariff barriers and buying in competition, etc. But one of the really key benefits to having a local presence is actually being seen to be a local. And UK consumer is just like the American consumers, which I'm familiar with as well, in terms of they like to know that you're there, you're local. I don't have to worry about the time zones, I don't have to worry about the currencies. Someone can return my products if I need to. So localising your firm is a good idea. Now, again, most people think that this is a highly complicated, very expensive option. It is not. There are so many different ways to set up a physical footprint in the UK that some of them are extraordinarily fast, very low cost. The virtual office is a serviced office. Some of you may know we have quite a character as the Mayor of London in Boris Johnson, and he's just decided to partner with a vendor, and give away 12 months free rent to anyone who wants to set up a virtual office using a serviced office provider in London. Now, just to put that in context, that's £150,000 worth of value for you to have a nice free office where they answer the phone with your business and your details. But you can also incorporate online, £20. So it's not something that, again, you have to have a massive crew of lawyers crawling all over you for. You can do it reasonably simply, and we do have some very good middle tier accountants and lawyers that can help you. One quirky little thing again about the UK, again, most people will think maybe I want to go for a sales office. It seems simpler than a wholly owned subsidiary. Please don't. My recommendation to you would be it's actually a lot easier to set up a wholly owned subsidiary, and it sets you up for a long-term strategy. Sales office has a quirk in that you can't transact deals, you can't accept payments, and you have to, if you have a sort of a sales branch combination, you have to actually lodge your Australian tax papers with Companies House in London. So it's a right royal pain. And liability can trace right back to your Australian identity. So wholly owned subsidiary, much easier, much cleaner, much simpler.